Free socks.
Flies on the wall in a neon glow, watching the circus, the endless show. Low cost smooth, they don't even know. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big, large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Red tubers, grift in the digital maze. For my cons like fires, set the blaze. Every click's $1, every live pays. Lie hard, drive cars, love scars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big, large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Red tubers, grift in the digital maze. Former cons light fires, set the blaze. Every click's $1, every live pays. Lie hard, drive cars, live scars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big, large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Fake it till you make it, break it till it's gone. Chasing shadows, playing pawns. The watchers are watched, the game goes on.
Welcome everyone, I am Lord Troll, I am your host tonight. This is my after hours channel, or off duty channel I suppose. I had just changed the name today. It was Yelling from the Crowd formerly. It is now Lord Troll Off Duty. And I'm gonna do some gaming on my free time I suppose. Tonight is Once Human. I just started playing this yesterday. And it's pretty good, I guess. I guess it's a year old, so it's new to me. I like it. I think tonight I'm going to start out watching 3 videos, 1 short, 2 videos, I should say. Get to know the game a little bit. And then I'll put the links in the description when I'm all done. So yeah, I guess I am a 40-year-old gamer. I'm typically a gamer on a console growing up. And then I played some PC games. It's been a long time since I've even played anything. Now in my older age, I'm got a gaming PC and I can stream now. I've got a little studio, so we're gonna try this. But first, I suppose let's get started and watch these 3 videos I got lined up. Like I said, this is I'm not a first-time streamer. This is just my first time streaming here. So, hello and welcome in everybody. And thank you for being here. We'll get started. This is the game Once Human.
Once Human is a multiplayer open-world survival game set in a strange and terrifying post-apocalyptic Earth. You play as a metahuman, someone who's immune to the alien corruption that has spread across the planet. Your goal is simple: survive, explore, and rebuild in a world that's been completely transformed. At the start, you wake up with barely anything. You'll need to gather resources, craft weapons and tools, and build a base to protect yourself. Along the way, you'll face enemies, creepy monsters, powerful bosses, and environmental dangers. But you don't have to do it alone. You can play solo or team up with friends to take on the world together. The map is huge, with different biomes, regions, and ores you can collect. Whether you love PvE, PvP, or just exploring and building, Once Human offers all of it, with base raids, world events, and intense combat. It's a game where everything is out to get you, and Once Human, it's you versus everything.
So like I said, I started playing this last night, and I got through the first scenario. Pretty much, I would call it just a tutorial guide of getting to know things and the map a little bit and the things you're working with. So I made it through that, and now where we're gonna go, and when we get to the game, I'm gonna start by opening the door. It's gonna open the map. This is the first time I've seen this map and the things that are available to me. So this next video is Once Human, 10 Things I Wish I Knew Sooner.
Hey guys, welcome back. Lucky here, and today we're going to go over 10 things I wish I knew sooner before jumping into Once Human. These are 10 things that would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of frustration and a lot of currency. So stick around and find out what those 10 things are. First up, number one is going to be that you're going to find really awesome weapons in this game. Like this one here. If we look at it, it's got all kinds of extra perks. It's got impact, dealing more damage against Protocell, and then down below the calibration perks like lightweight style, crit damage, right? These are all fantastic upgrades. And if we calibrate this weapon, it could be incredibly strong thanks to all those really unique perks. However, I found this weapon. I did not craft it myself. So after I use it, if I go to try to repair this weapon, it won't let me. It says you are not the owner and you cannot repair. So what the takeaway here is that you cannot repair anything that you find. Any weapons you find, any armor you find, you cannot repair these things. Weapons and armor that you craft, you can repair. So you're going to want to be really careful about upgrading gear that you find, including the weapons. Sometimes they can be really good, but the downside is that you're not going to be able to repair that weapon when it breaks, and so you're going to lose it. So most of the time, the best course of action is going to be to invest in the weapons that you craft. Spend all your resources calibrating those so that you can repair them whenever you need to. Like this one right here, we can go ahead and repair it. Boom. And we just filled up the durability line there at the bottom, and it's ready to go again. And quickly, the next one to be aware of is that if you're thirsty, your character is going to run really slow. So the notches down by your thirst meter, if that first one isn't filled up to, then you're going to be moving a lot slower. The second one isn't filled up, and you're going to be losing a lot of stamina regeneration. So just be aware of that. The next thing I really wish I knew sooner is that the red crates, the mystical crates as they're called in this game, give you blueprints. And so sometimes you're going to be in one of these areas like this. You'll get a settlement like this one right here, and you're going to get your list of objectives up in the top left corner. It says look for a mystical crate, activate a rift anchor, defeat normal enemies, and then find 2 weapon or armor crates. Now the bottom 3 are always really easy to do, but sometimes that top one is a bit tricky. It's really hard to find those mystical crates. They can be tucked away in some building that's really large in some, obscure corner of it, and it can be pretty difficult to find, and you might be tempted to just move on without finding that mystical crate. But that mystical crate is almost always going to have blueprints, and the blueprints in this game are huge. This is what's going to allow you to craft all of the weapons and armor in this game, and that's one of the most major forms of progression you have. So you do not want to forego those mystical crates. Stick around and try to find it. My biggest piece of advice is that usually if there's a really big building on that property, it's probably in it or on top of it. So that's my biggest advice for the mystical crates. That's not always the case, but that's very often the case, and it seems like they often like to plant it on the alternate side of the settlement as the rift anchor. So if you're near the rift anchor, maybe try going to a different part of this area and look for the mystical crate there. The next thing is that there's going to be these primors located all over the map. These are huge for finding Starcrom, one of the most important resources in the game. Starcrom is what you're going to use to gamble for blueprints. These are the best blueprints in the game, and probably the most efficient way to obtain them is going to be using your Starcrom at a wish machine and gambling for the blueprints that you want. So there's very limited sources of this very important material, and this is one of them, these primors. So you're going to want to do these, first of all, so don't ignore them, but also be prepared for a battle. They are pretty difficult, and you're going to need sorry about that. And you're going to need explosives because the enemy there is covered in a thick armor. And if you don't have explosives, you're not going to be able to take that armor down. So go prepared with a calibrated explosive weapon like a rocket launcher or claymores or something like that to break the armor off of that enemy. Next, let's talk about surviving in this game, because there's something that a lot of people are going to overlook for a lot of their playthrough. And when they realize it, oh man, it's going to make their life so much better. And one of those things is sanity gummies right here. Sanity gummies are fantastic because this will remove your sanity that you're losing. That sanity debuff right there, you can see on my health bar, I'm losing about 10%, maybe 15% of my health bar there to my sanity debuff. So the easiest way to manage that is to craft gummies. And these are real easy to make. It just takes a little bit of sugar, some boiled water, and some log. As you can see here, sugar just needs some beets and some lugs. So you're going to want to make some sanity gummies when you get the chance. And when you see a source of beets, make sure to take advantage of that and get it, okay? Now, fortunately, sanity gummies are only one way. An even easier way to manage your sanity is your grilled mushroom. So mushrooms are something that are very easy to get if you grab one of the passives in your cradle. If we go into our cradle, then we go into the mimetics menu, and then up here in the top left, we've got our mimetic specializations. These are real easy to miss. A lot of people probably have some unlocked and they haven't realized it. So you're going to come in here, and at some point you'll get the option to choose compost bin if you want, and this is a great option. If you take it, any spoiled food in your bag, which is going to happen all the time, food is just not going to get used in time. This is going to convert that spoiled food into mushrooms. Mushrooms are exactly what you use to make grilled mushrooms, and grilled mushrooms are going to give you energy, so it's going to fill your hunger meter, and it's going to cure 200 sanity, and you're just constantly getting them for free as you walk around with some excess food in your bag. And so this is going to be a perfect way of handling your sanity when you're out and about. I highly recommend it. And if you're enjoying the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Once Human content. It helps more than you know. Thanks. Now, the next thing to be aware of is how to heal yourself pretty much unlimited, right? So if we scroll down at our supplies workbench, you'll find a recipe for activators. Activators are going to restore 50% of your health. This is huge, and you can craft these unlimited. These ingredients are very easy to come by. You'll have plenty of them, and so it won't ever be a problem that you find yourself unable to have 10 or 20 heals on you at all times, which is going to be really helpful in exploring and dealing with monoliths. Especially if you're going into a monolith to take down a boss, you're going to want this. This is going to be essential. Similarly, one of the things you're going to want to make sure you take with you anytime you're going somewhere difficult is an adrenaline shot. An adrenaline shot is going to allow you to resurrect yourself if you take fatal damage. You're going to get a screen that pops up after you die saying, do you want to abandon this attempt, or do you want to use an adrenaline shot? Now, these would be nearly unlimited use, just like the activator, if not for the fact that it uses Stardust, which is a fairly rare resource. This one, you get plenty of it, but it's a lot harder to come by than, you know, something like this. We have 1,144 rubber, right? The Stardust resource, we can get it by going to abstraction sites and securement silos, but we are going to find ourselves running out of that for sure, because we're also using this to calibrate weapons. So you're going to want to save adrenaline shots for only when you need it, like if you're in a boss fight in a monolith, or if you're really far from a respawn point. But most of the time, what you should be doing is laying down a campsite anytime you get decently far away from your base. Just pop down a campsite. These are really cheap. All you have to do to make a campsite is hit any ore a few times. That's going to give you gravel, and then hit a tree a few times. That's going to give you wood, and now you can make a campsite. You'll probably have enough materials to make multiple campsites, and you'll just slam it down. It'll say, hey, just letting you know, it's going to remove your last campsite if you put a new one here. That's fine. And now this will act as a respawn point if you die. It also allows you to teleport back to your base from wherever you are, so you never have to run back to your base. If you're next to a campsite, you can always teleport back to your base. Now, the next thing to know is that there's one weapon in the game that is super clutch, and that is going to be the crossbow. The reason for this is you can shoot the crossbow very accurately into the heads of enemies, and it's usually going to be a one-shot, especially if you've kept up with the higher tier of the crossbow and you've also been calibrating it when able. And the nice thing about the crossbow is you can retrieve the arrow from the enemy after you kill them. So as long as you hit the enemy, you can pick up that arrow after you kill them. You run by their body, spam F, and you'll see that you've picked up 1 or 2 arrows, however many it took to kill the enemy. You get them all back, which removes the issue of having to make sure you have ammo for your weapon as you're running around doing the easier content in the game. Now, there's nothing like a good firearm, right? And ammo isn't that hard to make, so don't be afraid to use a gun and use ammo, right? This copper ammo down here is just fine. It works really well, and you're just gonna have to farm a bit of copper ingot and some gunpowder. So don't be afraid of using your ammo. It's real easy to make, and you get a lot of it every time you craft some. You get 40 pistol ammo, or if we make an SMG ammo, we get 120 every pop. So real easy. Just make sure you're always picking up copper so that you have plenty of ammo. But until you've got a good supply of those materials, those crossbow arrows are super efficient. Another thing to know is that you can zoom your camera out from the default setting. Your default setting has the camera pretty close to your character, but if you come into the game's controls, you see right here camera distance, and by default this is pretty close, and you can get just enough extra distance to see your feet and have complete view of your character and have a little bit less of your screen obscured by your character when you're running around playing the game. And if you're like me, you're gonna love that. Now, the next thing to be aware of is if you hate the look of your character, let's say you get in game and you regret some decisions you made. Maybe you forgot to max a certain slider out. Maybe you made a slider too big and it's just looking uncomfortable. Now you can come in here and you can go to the furniture section of your building menu. So you press B in your base, you right click, you bring up the furniture menu, then go to furnishing items submenu, and then click on floor mirror. And now you put this down and boom, you have a mirror where you can reshape your character. You can come in here and completely remake them to make them look exactly how you want. The next tip is that you're going to be given a free bike in Deadsville. So that's really early in the game. You're going to be doing your quests, first town in the game. And if you get sidetracked exploring and you don't finish the main story quest in this area, right, You find that by pressing L and you follow the Stardust quests here. They'll be in this section right here, or the yellow marker on the map. As long as you're following that, you'll get your bike in pretty short order. So don't craft your first bike. Let the game give it to you for free, and then you'll be able to summon it anywhere you want without having to spend the materials to make it yourself in the early game, which can, you know, take a little bit of time. If you do craft it yourself, it's not too big a deal. That's not too many materials that it takes. Now, the next thing to be aware of is as you're driving around, you're going to see cars on the side of the road, and that's where you're going to get fuel for your bike or your car if you've created a car, right? You're going to be able to get fuel for those just by checking the trunks of vehicles on the side of the road. Now, the thing to know about this is you might feel like you're never finding fuel in those trunks, because the way this works is anytime you're on a main road, like a really major road like this, it looks like a main road. This little dirt road right here, that looks like a side road. This looks like a side road. So the smaller the road, the more likely the cars on it are to have fuel in the trunk. If you're on a main road, it's going to be really unlikely that you find a car with fuel in the trunk. I guess, you know, from an RP standpoint, it's because these have already been searched and there's nothing left. The next big piece of advice I wish I knew before I started playing the game is about this resonant filter right here, the Stardust resonant filter. Now, this is a really important object because you're going to be able to purify your Stardust. So you're going to put this in here and you'll be like, yeah, purify it. But it's really easy to miss the fact that right here, it's telling you all these enemies that are going to spawn and attack your base the second that you decide to do this. So you're going to have to defend your base for 5 minutes from all of these enemies. So if you end up getting some tier 1 Eclipse Cortex, right, it's not too big a deal. The enemies that spawn are not too terribly difficult. You'll most likely be able to take them down. If you get tier 2 though, things start getting pretty difficult. They start having a lot of HP, and if you don't have great weapons yet and highly calibrated weapons yet, it could be something that ends up destroying your base. So what I would recommend is before you use this machine, take the time to upgrade your base to stone, because when they attacked my base, it was still wood the first time I did that, and they destroyed about half of my base and half of my storage containers. So make sure you upgrade to stone before you do that, and make sure that you are loaded with lots of ammo, because there's going to be a lot of enemies spawning, and make sure you got a good weapon that does a lot of damage ready to go. Another quick tip is that if you press N, it turns on your flashlight. This is going to be essential in a lot of areas in this game. It's easy to overlook, but hey, it's right there, nice and easy to use. And also make sure, another quick tip is to make sure that you are taking advantage of the deviations in this game. You're going to be finding them all over the place, and if you look at them in your base, so if we create these containers here, we look inside, we can sync to cradle if we want to put it in our cradle and then have it with us. Alternatively, we can withdraw that one right there. We can use this facility, and it tells us when we hover over these what type of deviation they are. It's like Power World if you played that. Some are really good at combat. Some are really good at territory buffing. This one is going to provide power to our generators. Others are going to be great for crafting. They're going to give us materials for crafting, or they're going to be harvesting materials around the base. Like I've got this guy here grabbing ores of all sorts. So I click claim, and then over here I see I got some iron ore, some tin, some sulfur, and some copper ore. All of those from that guy right there. This one right here is collecting wood. So between the two of those, that I'm just constantly passively getting 2 resources I always need. You're always going to need loads of wood for charcoal. Whenever you're in your base, go ahead and make 99 charcoal. I promise you, you're never going to regret it, because everything that you make is going to use charcoal for a very, very long time. Whether you're purifying water or whether you're making iron bars or iron ingots or steel ingots, right? You're just going to be constantly using that charcoal. So have a nice supply on hand. You won't regret it. If you got nothing else going on in there, burn some charcoal. Definitely keep an eye out for deviations that you can put in your base to passively gather materials for you while you're out exploring and doing all the other fun things in the game. All right, guys, that concludes my first I Wish I Knew Sooner video for Once Human. If you have any things that you learned that you...
All right, on to the next video. This one is a little bit longer. Take it off on mute. If I remember right, this one sped up a little fast. I'm going to slow it down. I think that is a little too big.
What is up, you guys? Glitches here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special video for you guys, but before we get into the details, I have to give another huge shout out to Starry Studios for sponsoring this video and continuing to let me make this killer content for you guys. So that being said, thanks again, but let's jump right into it. The video I want to bring you guys today is going to be an ultimate beginner's guide from a veteran's perspective, and in my opinion, what I would consider to be a perfect start to the game. I hope to take you step by step through all the core gameplay mechanics, as well as show you all the tools that are going to be at your disposal from the moment you land boots on the ground to the moment you take down your first zone boss and everything in between. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So assuming you've already picked which type of server you wanted to join, as well as created your first character, you're then going to be introduced to the game's tutorial. Now here you're going to be introduced to your new friendly companion V, learn a little bit about basic combat mechanics, as well as ultimately be introduced to your first main storyline character named Mitsuko. Now you know you'll be nearing the end of the tutorial once you reach the mysterious house in the woods. Here you're going to be instructed to gather a few resources.
And this is what I did yesterday.
In order to craft your very first campsite. The campsite is a super useful tool that acts as a mobile respawn point. So I recommend dropping one of these down before every major encounter, just in case you die. It'll save you a ton of running around in the long run. It also is a great place to craft some basic consumable items, as well as some basic...
I don't remember having to build a campsite, though. None of my quest.
Armor and weapons, one of which being the crossbow, which I consider to be one of the strongest weapons in the game. I personally never leave home without this thing. You can take out every deviant you run into in the early and mid game in one shot with a headshot because of its amazing headshot damage multiplier. It also is great for taking out wildlife and has amazing ammo efficiency. If you walk over anything that you take down with the crossbow, you can actually pick up all the arrows that were fired and refund it back to your max ammunition, so you almost never have to craft ammunition for this thing. It is a great weapon to have, and I highly recommend holding on to this and having it equipped at all times. Finally, you'll have to go toe-to-toe with your first big baddie deviant along with his minions, and after an instructive but exciting first little battle, you'll not only learn a little bit more about how to control your deviants, but you'll be one step closer to walking into the real world of Once Human. So step through the door and see what awaits you. One brief in-game cutscene later, and we are seamlessly transitioned into real-world gameplay. Now, as you can see, the environment looks beautiful. Starry Studios has done an amazing job designing the environments in Once Human. Let's just take a second to take all this in. Pretty much everything that you see at this point is explorable, and you're more than welcome to drop down at any location you see fit and set up your base of operations. However, in my opinion, there is one little pit stop that I recommend you take before doing so. So let's get these boots on the ground and check out the map. So the location I'd like us to travel to is actually Deadsville, the first major settlement that you come across. Not only can you right-click it and create a little waypoint marker, but it also creates a fast route that can be visible from your minimap. Now, if there's a certain location on the map that doesn't already have a specific icon, you can middle mouse and create a custom pin to temporarily place one there. And by right-clicking that, that will create a new waypoint as well as a fast route for your minimap as well. So I recommend you take advantage of that when hunting down different locations. As we make our way to Deadsville, you may come across some random wildlife. I recommend taking out the crossbow and hunting down as many of these as you can, because the pelts that they drop will actually come in very handy later on when we go to craft our armor. Now, after getting a few hides under our belt, we finally reached the gates of Deadsville. The reason I wanted to come here first was to talk about the teleporters. Teleporters are a very important feature within the game of Once Human. They act as fast travel points to different locations on the map. Every major town, such as Deadsville, will have a teleporter inside of it, but there is also secondary teleporters you can unlock based off these icons here. So if you see one near an objective that you're doing, make sure to take the extra minute and go out of your way to unlock it. And what do you know? Just by unlocking that teleporter, we've completed a journey task, so let's talk about that. The Journeys tab is a very helpful place to gain a bunch of extra experience and useful items. It is broken up into different categories based off the random tasks that you're going to be completing throughout the game. You can get things like controllers and Starchrome as well, which are used to gain more resources from bosses and even roll the dice on some exotic weapon and armor blueprints. So you definitely want to complete as many journey tasks as possible and check back frequently if you've completed some and haven't looked at it in a few minutes. But last but not least, the only thing left to do now is find a suitable location for our base of operations. Now, technically at this point, you could throw down your base of operations anywhere you like on the map. However, one point in particular that I've always enjoyed is right around this location here. So let's throw down a waypoint marker and start heading there. The reason I like this spot so much is, one, it's a nice little waterfront property, so the view's always good, but it has an abundance of wildlife to hunt for our pelts to craft armor. It's got a ton of different ore types for both the first and second zone, so you won't even need to move your base once we continue on with the story. And lastly, it's within a short walking distance to Deadsville, so if you're not able to teleport, you can get there on foot pretty quickly. So yeah, this is definitely a good spot that I would recommend. Feel free to check it out. Alright, so on our way to our base location, I came across this new little tidbit that I also wanted to bring to your guys' attention, and that is our cradle sensor. If you look at the little bubble on the back of our cradle, you'll notice that it's blinking. This actually means that you're nearby a morphic chest. Now what you want to do is use your blink ability to scan the nearby vicinity, and once you get close enough, that pulse on the cradle will get stronger and stronger and eventually reveal the hidden chest. Now these little buggers in the beginning are pretty easy, but I will warn you that later on they get much faster and can actually attack you, so take your time and just take them down. And when you do, not only will we get a seasonal goal, which I'll go over here in a minute, but you also unlock a nice little chest with some more useful items such as stellar planulas and stardust sources, as well as some energy links. So now that we've got those items, let's go ahead and talk about the seasonal goals tab. Now these are broken up by phases, which progressively unlock as the season continues on. And under each of these phases, you're going to have 4 categories with different challenges to complete. You have territory, adventures, secure, and challenges. All of these challenges will eventually get a little bit harder and harder as the phases go on, but how it works is you have a 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star milestone, and as you complete these tasks, those milestones will eventually be reached, at which point you can basically claim the corresponding reward. and the rewards that you get are actually quite substantial. You get a ton of Starchrome, which again can be used to craft those exotic armor and weapon blueprints later on, but you also get a ton of memetics points for your crafting blueprints, and better yet, we have a new street cred system in the game called the Butterfly's Emissary, where after so many of these seasonal goals are reached, you will unlock different tiers of this butterfly, which grants you a cool little badge that your character can wear to show off how many achievements you've accomplished, as well as a cool little decoration for your territory. So be sure to complete as many of those tasks as you can throughout the season, because you get some really nice items and some extra little flair to go along with it. But without any further ado, let's continue on and reach our base location. So here we are, we finally reached our destination, and the only thing left to do is to plant our roots down. So to do this, we're going to have to open our build menu by hitting B on the keyboard, and as you can see, it gives us the option to plant our initial territory foundations. Starry Studio has done a great job of streamlining this process. You used to have to build it all individually, but now we get 4 initial foundations pre-built, along with an isolated securement unit for our Butterfly Deviant and our territory terminal. Now at this point, you could just leave it as is and continue on with the story, but if you're like me, we're going to want to build this out, and you can't do that without the required materials. So let's start farming some resources. So we're going to need a ton of these ores, so I recommend taking a little extra time now and just farming a bunch of this up in advance. It's going to save us a ton of time in the future. I would recommend at least several hundred gravel and several hundred copper at this point. You can also mine a little bit of sulfur for some ammunition. One thing I will like to mention is that no matter what type of ore you're mining, it will also give you gravel on top of that. So if you don't see the default gray rocks for gravel anywhere nearby, don't worry, just go and mine any nearby rock that you can, and you will also get gravel on top of it and eventually fill it out. So once we get the ore, the next thing we're going to want to do is head for the wood. So find your nearest tree, the bigger the better, and start chopping away. We are actually going to need more wood than ore. I would recommend at least 1,000, preferably closer to 2,000. So chop down a bunch of trees and take the time now. Again, it's going to save a ton of time later. And with this last few strokes of the axe, not only do we finish out the amount of wood that we need, but we also ding level 3, which will give us even more memetic points, which is the next thing I'm going to want to go over. So once we get these memetic points, hit O and go to your memetics tab and click on the memetics option. Now within here, there's going to be 4 potential basically categories to choose from. We have infrastructure, crafting, logistics, and building. Building is basically going to be where you get all of your memetic formulas for things like your building material types, the ability to create wooden support beams for your houses. This is one we're going to need. So let's go ahead and claim that one right now while we're here. We also might want to grab the wooden roofs and windows, as well as wooden doors and door frames. You can claim the wooden stairs if you'd like. Because some people like to go all out and build multi-story buildings. For this demonstration, though, we'll stick to 1 story, so we don't really need to pick this up right away. But moving on to the other tabs, some important ones you might want to grab early are things like the stove. This is nice because you can start building food early on in the game. So let's go ahead and pick that up. In the crafting tab, we obviously want to grab the supplies workbench. We're definitely going to be building one of those here in a few minutes, as well as a gear workbench and ammunition. And then moving on to the infrastructures tab, we want to grab the smelting essentials, because the first thing we're going to need to build is our furnace. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then we can also grab, last but not least, the disassembly techniques for our disassembly bench. That's very, very important. It's going to be used to break down all the junk and salvage material that we get when looting all the different towns and territories. We bring them back to our base, throw those junk parts into the disassembly bench, and that unlocks a bunch of useful materials that we can then use to craft. So let's go ahead and grab that as well. Now that we have all the required memetic blueprints as well as materials, the only thing left to do is start building. So open up that menu and select foundations. As I mentioned before, I like to make this a little bit bigger than the starting foundations and turn it into a 3x3 grid. That'll give us a little bit more room. The next thing we're going to want to do is choose our walls. So go ahead and select that from the build menu and start placing those down. Once you get your walls set up, the next thing you can do is plant your windows and door frame. I personally like to put a window in the middle of each of these walls and then the door in the middle of the front entrance, obviously, as well as 2 windows in the front. Next, you can throw your ceiling tiles up. This is good if you want to hang lights and things like that. It's also good for running wires, but in this particular case, I want to show off the roofing. So what you can do is select R to dismantle different things that you have built. This will refund a portion of those materials back to you and then allow you to rebuild new things. So let's go ahead now and select the roofing tiles and go ahead and put our middle flat roofs up, as well as the corner roofs. And then just like that, voila, in a matter of minutes and the power of editing, we now have a beautiful little home that we can place all of our workstations in, as well as our supplies. The only thing left to do now is to go in and build our furnace. So go ahead and open up that build menu again and select the furnace and go ahead and place it anywhere inside your territory. Then once we have it built, go ahead and build a big old stack of coal. And then once the coal finishes, that will allow us to craft a nice little chunk of copper ingots. And now that the copper ingots are finished, we can finally build our disassembly bench. Go ahead and grab that from the build menu and throw that down on your base, and just like that, we get another journey complete. At this point, I recommend opening up the journey tab and claiming all the unclaimed experience that we have. There's probably a ton of it that we have been skipping over here. And just like that, ding, we reach level 4, and along with that, we get a few more mimetic points. So let's go ahead and open up our mimetic tree one more time and select a couple new blueprints. I recommend picking up the copper axes as well as the basic gear because we're going to be crafting our first secondary weapon here soon, so might as well pick it up now. At this point, you should have enough materials to also craft your supplies workbench, so go ahead and throw that down in your base. I'd also like to craft the gears workbench. That's the next thing we're going to need, but unfortunately it requires some more spare parts, which we don't have, so the next order of business is teleporting to Deadsville and heading towards the next main story objective. Now, if you're heading to your waypoint from the Deadsville entrance, you should come across this little camera tripod setup. This is actually a riddle chest location. There's going to be a bunch of these scattered all over the map. This one in particular is a cool little game of Simon Says. Just mimic the emote that your doppelganger is doing, and that should unlock some nice little loot on our way to the objective. So make sure to grab that. And with that completed, we also complete another seasonal goal. So let's go ahead and claim that for some more Mitsuko marks. And what do you know? We just reached the first star milestone. Go ahead and claim it and get a nice chunk of star chrome as well as 10 more mimetic points to be used later on. So once we reach our destination, we're going to be tasked with looking for 2 specific quest chests. One is going to be right here in this building, but the other thing I want to mention while we're here is we want to pick up as much junk as possible. And one tip that I want to mention is always be using your finger snap ability. It is very, very handy, and not only does it highlight all the nearby small junk around you, but everything that gets highlighted can instantly be grabbed all at once with the click of a button. So it makes gathering all of those junk pieces much, much faster. Now, once we have that completed, grab the final chest, and the only thing left to do is head over to Mary to complete the mission. Next, we're going to be instructed to teleport back to base, but first I want to go over what this little floating purple crystal is. It's actually located right behind where Mary was standing. This is actually a unique little jumping puzzle mechanic. They're going to be scattered all over the place throughout the map as well, so if you see one, make sure to grab it, because if you collect all the crystals in the correct sequence, it will also unlock a new mystical crate with some useful rewards in it, so make sure to grab those every time you see one. The other thing I want to talk about is once we reach level 5, we unlock our first mimetic specialization. You're going to get these every 5 levels, and what these are basically random bonus perks that kind of magnify the effects of certain features that are already in the game. This one, for example, makes carrying things like logs and ores in your backpack weigh 40% less. So some of these can be really, really useful, and there's specific ones that you're going to want to work together with your team to kind of min-max the best buffs for you and your group. Don't worry if you get to the end game and don't like one of these, you can eventually re-roll them a few times, so don't get too afraid of being locked in with the ones that you get. It is kind of RNG based. With that being said, let's jump back to base and craft our gears workbench because we have a weapon to make. Now, at this point, you can pretty much pick any weapon you want, but in my opinion, I recommend either the submachine gun or the assault rifle being my favorite. So let's go ahead and craft one of those. The other thing I recommend doing is going over to Supplier's Workbench and crafting not only the new copper pickaxe that we unlocked the mimetic force earlier, but also some ammunition to go along with the new weapon that we just crafted. So once those are complete, our long-standing Eve of Evolution quest is finally done. The only thing left to do is head to Deadsville to have a little bit more serious conversation with Mary, so let's head over there now. Once arriving in Deadsville, you're going to have to talk to a few different NPCs, but during your final conversation with Mary, she's going to go over rift anchors. These are the keys that unlock the greater monoliths where the rift entity bosses for each zone are located. That's the main thing we're going to be hunting down next. On the bright side, she does offer us up her motorcycle, which should help in our travels along the way, so make sure to head over and grab that. Lastly, you're going to want to pick up any of the remaining side quests that are nearby and then head over to Larry Duvall to go over our commissions. Now, commissions are very important aspects of the game. I cannot stress how important these are. You get 5 of them per week, and this will be the largest source of experience out of anything else in the game. You want to make sure that you complete all 5 of these commissions each week. Pick the ones that you think that you can complete the fastest, and not only will you get a ton of experience and energy links for each one that you complete, but once you have all 5 done, you can come back to town and collect another huge 2,500 batch of experience as well. I kid you not, by completing all 5 of these, you can probably get 3 to 4 levels out of these easy, so make sure you get them all done. Now, before we go and clear out our first settlement, I recommend going back to base and crafting a brand new full shiny set of armor to go along with our new weapon. So head back and start crafting all the pieces we need. We're going to want a new helmet, a new chest piece, as well as gloves, boots, a mask, and legs. Don't worry if you don't have all the required materials right now for any given piece. There are plenty of smaller points of interest nearby that we can go to. Just look at the pieces that you still need, and if you hover over any given icon on any location, it'll actually show you the type of drops that can be found there. So just head over to which one matches, pick up the extra scrap that you need, come back to base, and craft the final pieces you're missing. But I promise you, once we get this new full set made, any deviant that's headed our way in the near future will be no problem at all. So let's get this done and head out to our first settlement. At this point, the game really opens up to the player. If you're following the story, the first settlement that you're going to want to encounter is probably the Rotten Manor. Here, you're going to get a quick little taste of what the upcoming boss is going to be like, as well as snag your first rift anchor. But after that, you are free to choose any of the 7 or 8 settlements that are remaining to collect the last 3 that you need. In my particular case, I chose to go with Overlook Town. I went with this one because the rift anchor is super easy to find. As you can see here, it's located right at the entrance. You can't miss it. All of these rift anchor locations are going to have giant purple beams of light coming out of them. So make that your priority and head there and pick those up. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is that every time you go into a new settlement, there's going to be several mini objectives that you want to complete. You can find these by looking under the purple text in the top left-hand corner of this screen. You're going to want to complete every single one of these for all the different settlements because it'll be a great chance to find weapon and armor crates for potentially new pieces of armor and weapons, obviously, and ammunition, but also mysterious chests. Now, mysterious chests are super important. They're going to be pretty well hidden. You might find some on a roof or in a basement or hidden in a back corner somewhere, but the reason you want to hunt all of these down is because this is the prime area where we're going to find all of our blueprints. Almost all of the good pieces of armor and weapons that you're going to be crafting later in the game are crafted with the blueprints that you find from these mysterious chests. So even though we only need 4 of these rift anchors now, eventually you're going to want to come back and clear out all of these remaining settlements and find all the mysterious chests you can, because not only will that unlock more blueprints, but later on you can actually use the blueprints you don't need to upgrade other stronger blueprints down the road. So make sure you clear all those out, and it'll only help you in the long run. Finally, with 4 or more rift anchors in hand, it is time to enter the monolith facility. So head over and talk to Mary to start the process and enter on in. Once you're in, you're going to want to take out all the enemies you come across, as well as focus on those secondary purple objectives, like I mentioned earlier. Once you do that, you're going to reach the summit, and be sure to snag the teleporter along the way so we can come back here at a later time, because we will fight these bosses at higher difficulties. Once you're done, head on into the monolith and prepare for the final fight. When you open up the boss menu for the first time, you're going to notice that there's 3 different difficulty tiers. We have a normal mode, a hard mode, and a pro mode. The hard mode and pro mode are for later game challenges when you want to come back, fight the boss again, and get some rarer loot, but the level requirement is much higher than what we are now, so we're only going to focus on normal mode at this point. The required level is 10, and if you've been following along with the guide so far, you should be plenty high enough level at this point to take on the challenge. So without any further ado, let's open up this menu again and start the encounter. Thinking back to the first time that I fought the Ravenous Hunter, it was actually a really exciting experience, so I don't want to spoil the entire battle for you guys. I want you to experience it for the first time on your own. That being said, just use all the skills that you've learned along the way during this guide, and within no time at all, you'll have your first Rift Entity boss taken down and get a ton of killer loot for your efforts. We get a bunch of killer mods, a new weapon, and even a new deviant to add to our collection. Lastly, with the Rift Entity slain, the only thing we have left to do is head home and find a place to rest for our new deviant buddy. Now, deviants are super helpful little creatures that are hidden all throughout the world of Once Human, and they help you in a variety of different ways. Some will aid you in combat, others will help you in your territory, and some will even give you exclusive recipes that you can use to craft potions later on. Now, some of these guys are a little tricky to find, but hunting them down is actually half the fun, and with a little time and patience, you will eventually amass a nice little army of them that will aid you on your journey through the rest of the game. From here, what you guys do next is totally up to you. You can move on to the next zone, go back and clear some missing side quests or settlements. You can even hunt down some more deviants. I leave the choice up to you. As for me, well, I think I'm going to just find a nice calm spot to sit back, relax, and enjoy a good view. Cheers, you guys. And on that note, we finally come to the end of the guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and hopefully I was able to help a few of you new players out. If I did, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Your guys' support on this video is going to be greatly appreciated. I also want to give one last big shout out to S.1-E Studios for sponsoring the video. And lastly, if you want to join a community of like-minded gamers, feel free to check the links down in the description and join us on the Discord. We have hundreds and hundreds of players in there, many of which are playing Once Human, so hopefully jump in and we see you guys around here soon.
Alright. Let's see what we got. Let's get playing. I enjoyed the videos. I think I'm opening the game the wrong way. Maybe not. We'll see how it opens. I also thought I was sharing the game in OBS wrong. I think it's working. Turn the volume down some. I don't even know how my volume is. I'm gonna rely on the replay or at someone in chat. Wonder if I should go to these recommended ones first. I know them two guides that we just watched said Deadville. Just gonna try these just to learn the map and things. Awfully quiet. Ooh. Adjust my view. Oh, I thought that's what I was gonna do. I don't even know what that. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why he keeps crouching. I don't want to be here. I changed my weapon. Oh, wait. I see. Is this it? There's my gun. should have reloaded. Oh no, critical injury. Adrenaline. I think that might have been my last one. Son of a bitch. Get out of here. No, not that way. No. Intense. Come on. Come on. Oh. I don't think I have any adrenaline. Give up. Oh, I have to hold Q. Alright, so that's me dying. Respawning. Where's this guy at? What's a deer? What's this guy got? Anything? Nothing. Son of a bitch. I guess it's like hunting. Sneak up on him again. guess we're gonna. Oh, what's that? We're not gonna track that yet. I want to see what that is. Someone's post. Okay. Let's go back this way. Find this deer. He couldn't have gone too far. It's a good vantage point. Oh, there's two. Oh, come on. There he's right there. Come on. There we go. Oops. Did I get the deer? There. Let's gather some water. Need to eat something soon. Alright. These are people's territories, I believe. This is where I come from. I'm gonna go this way, down this road. Come on, scope. Oop. I didn't want to cut it down. Oh well. That was my cover. I think that's someone in the world. I'm starving. I don't even know how to get food. I don't want gear. I want food. Where's the food at? What is that? I think I'm gonna eat that last deer meat. What's that? Dirty water. Yeah. Okay, I need to go kill more deer then. I need to at some point build a camp. And I believe that is where the game saves at. What is it, rodent or something? Well, it's food. I think it's food. Let's go see what we got. Alright, rabbit meat. Don't run, bunny. Get more of that rabbit meat. Kinda wanted to build a little camp on a hill. But I don't want to be close to a road. Got a vehicle up here. I wonder if it's a working vehicle. Heavy equipment. Look at that. Oh, no. Look what we got here. Oh, no. Oh, no. I have to give up. Oh, doesn't that suck? Oh. Well, maybe I could wait. What's that 30 seconds give me? I'm out of adrenaline. "16 seconds. See what happens. I hope I don't have to I hope it doesn't respawn me. Because that's what just giving up would do. Alright, respawning anyways. Oh, it does. Oh, okay. I think I should focus on finding a place, a camp. Building a camp. And then find food and resources. If there's anybody here, I appreciate people watching. Oh gosh, already right here in front of me. I think there's one right over here. What's all this stuff? Did I pick it up? I must have. Let's go see what this crate is. What's in it? Hopefully food. Oh, deer hide. Okay, claim it all. A kettle. Shabby fabric. This looks like a camping area. I wonder if I should just try building here. Must be too close to other camps. How do I build just a camp? What button was that again? I don't want to build a plate. What was it? What was it? I just wanted to build a little camp, like the tent thing, not a big building. Come on, get closer. What is it? I can't use it. Alright, come on. Quit looking down. Come on. There. Oh. Should be wide open enough for me to build a camp here. Maybe I don't have the resources. Too much of a hill. I think maybe I don't have enough resources. Banana tree. Coconut palm. It's 2 coconuts. Bananas. Let's go here and get this ore while we're here. There's deer in front of me. Over by them cars. Get this sulfur real quick. Come on. son of a bitch. This deer's hard to kill. Killed 2 already. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Oh. There's a whole bunch. Just get this one. I'm a bad shot. Oh, I got it though. Well, let's find some food. Wait. Yeah, I need food. I need water too. I got all sorts of stuff. That dirty water. Sage is for the discomfort, so I can have water and then have some sage. So that's hydration too. So I'm gonna consume dirty water. I'm gonna consume 2 of them. And then have 1 sage. That should take care of the discomfort. Coconut water? I'm gonna do deer meat and 1 banana. Or should I do 2 bananas? What is that? Rabbit meat? Alright. I'm gonna do that banana too. That last banana. Alright. Now I got my hydration and my food up. Looks like I need... I don't know what I need, to be honest with you. I need to head to Mary's Market is what it says up in the left corner. Looks like it's getting dark. The top right corner says it's 8:21 in the game, in the world. What was that? Body is soaked, enter something. Oh. swimmings. Cool. Awesome. Tin. Oh, I need a more advanced gathering tool. Okay, we're not doing that then. It's hard to get through the thick forest. Someone's camp here. What road? I don't like this view. I want to be further back. It's as far back as it goes. Camera distance. There we go. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, it's somewhat better. Let's see what I can do up here. The hell was that thing? What? Well, I had no chance. Respawning. I will be back. We will take an intermission so I can use the bathroom.
You talk big, but your shadow's thin. Got a crown of plastic, can't pretend it's king. Your words are dust, they fade in the wind. I step on your lies like they're old tin. Your crew's all bark, no bite, no teeth. I'm the wolf that prowls while you play sheep. Your throne's a joke, it's built on grief. Your kingdom crumbles, I'm the new chief. No apologies, none at all. all. Watch you trip as I stand tall. I don't bend, I don't crawl. This is my rise, this is your fall. No apologies, no regret. Cards are dealt, the game's been set. Try to flex, but you're in debt. I'm the king you won't forget. You claim the streets, but the streets don't claim you. Act tough, but you fold like paper glue. You're a rerun, I'm something new. A sharp blade cutting right through. Your verse is weak, they lift and crawl. Mine hit like bricks against the wall. Your empire's fake, it's bound to fall. I'll burn it down and take it all. No apologies, none at all. Watch you trip as I stand tall. I don't bend, I don't crawl. This is my rise, this is your fall. No apologies, no regret. Cards are dealt, the game's been set. Try to flex, but you're in debt. I'm the king you won't forget.
Alright, I'm back. Respawn. Oh, I see. I got a viewer. Phil Sim, how you doing? B is for the menu. Build menu. Always build near the coast and away from the mobs. Okay. Press Q will highlight the loot. Animals you have to kill. Okay. Dirty water. I will need to boil it. Time to cook the deer meat. Okay, Phil, Sim, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to read the chat here, and I think I'm gathered all of that. I wondered if I could use someone else's camp. Is that possible? Oops. No. Back up, back up. Go somewhere. Get away from him. Just got respawned and I'm gonna die. Oh, see? I knew it. Let's just respawn and start over. Yeah, Phil, I'm new to this gaming on the PC. I'm a 40-year-old gamer trying to game. I just started this game yesterday, actually. I'm liking it. All right. Well, I don't feel so old then. We're retro gamers. So Q will highlight the loot. Okay. is that? Stardust. Okay, gravel. Claim. Phil, I'm not very good at reading chat. Not even on my other streams I do things on. Sorry. Is this an old people game, Phil? I'm using Steam on my PC here, and I seen there's like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. That's stuff I used to play on the console. And I seen it's on there. I may get it. But then I seen the Grand Theft Auto, the new one is out, and I may just get that. Save up my loot. Ah, come on. Yeah, I've noticed that about go full in on or casual. I kind of like that about the free world of it. I feel I'm wasting a lot of time sometimes, but maybe I'm not. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I need to find like a camp so that I can... I think building a camp is how I save the game. So next time I respawn, I just come from there. Correct? Because I don't think, like this, I don't think I can use someone else's camp. I don't think. These ones, some are abandoned though. I wish I could use them. Or they look abandoned. I'm gonna check this car. Just curious. It's on a main road, so I doubt it's got anything. Okay, never saved without having a camp. So you have to have one to save. Oops. My trigger finger got happy. Phil, how is this game like with a joystick and things? Do you know by chance? So I'm using a mouse and I feel it's difficult. Oh, the trunk. I was checking the hood, wasn't I? Good call on that. I don't think I'm going to go back to it. But I don't want to go that direction either. Someone's got a nice camp here. Alright, I'd like to get building somewhere. Something. Just the keyboard. Hey, look at that.
Nice work. We'd better gather some ore and logs.
Okay. That's tin. I can't get that yet. I don't think I can get that rock either. There's sure is a lot of tin I can't get. I'd like to use the keyboard for my directional, but it seems to not work. I seem to have to use the mouse. Sage. There we go. Phil, how do you jump in this game? Or hop, or whatever it is. Oops. See, now I just jumped off of my... Come on. So it must be nothing I can deposit. Spacebar to jump. Okay. Sweet. Sure, I have to chop down some wood for walls and things. The palms would help me get coconut for hydration. I wonder if... I guess the palms wouldn't count as coconut and wood, though. Maybe it does. Oh, it does. I see it add up on the side. Sweet. So two things, kind of. I get wood and coconut. Oops. We'll get the little one. Oh, to open the building. Your building stuff? Okay. I'll try that when I go back there. Oh, that's tin. We don't want that. There we are. Let's get this rock. And go back to home base.
We'll also need a furnace and a disassembly bench to process the materials we gather.
I apparently have nothing. Okay. G? Do I want to sync the ability? Okay. I'll go back to that. On the left. Okay. Oh, that's the furnace. So I don't have enough copper or gravel. Go mining. I want to go back to that though. Okay. Could I get that stove though? Or where did I see that stove at? Right there. Yeah, I can't unlock it yet. I will be though. Alright. So I think I've done everything I can do in there. Let's go back to... Okay, thanks, Phil. I think I did upgrade as much as I could in there that I've seen. I'm gonna try this building thing now. If I can read the chat properly. So B and then build menu. Oh, I don't want that. Wait. Well, that's skins. Okay. I don't want that. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I see that, fella, and it looks like I need resources like wood and the gravel, the ore, copper. It's getting late where I'm at, Phil. It's like 4:24 here, a.m. I've been on here for 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's not so bad. I think I need to keep finding food and stuff too. Oh, there's a bunny or something right there. Where'd it go? Ah. What is that thing? Is this thing gonna hurt me? What the hell is it? Ah. It's a nice little pad here. Oops. What is that guy, Phil? Hmm. Okay, it's a deviation. Just carrying a broom around. Looks like a little white ghost ninja with a broom. Kind of cute, actually. I was trying to collect it. Maybe I should go back and see if I can. So many things to do, though. Get food, resources, and then try not to get killed. He was right around here. Who knows where he went? Come on, move. Yeah, I'd like to find that little thing again, because I thought it was pretty cool. Alright, we'll get this ore and then get out of here. Did I pass my territory? Sure did. I really need to build a stove. Oops. One cipher. I got a lot of work to do, Phil. Okay. That was someone else's. Oh, you want me to follow that blue thing? I was working my way towards that at one time. Nope. Wall. I'm gonna get around the mountain. I just ran right into this mountain. Oh, well, I'm going the way wrong way, maybe. Let's just turn around. Uh-oh, this is bad. That was bad. What'd I do, Phil? Is that what that thing is? Is that a deviant that I need to kill? Oh, they're right there. Oh no, I'm gonna die. What'd I do? Oh, and I died. Yeah. Right. Well, I have to get around that mountain. No, more mountain. Welcome back, Phil. I've died and respawned. That's a deviant up there. And a couple monsters, mobs, what do you call them? I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah, this might have been dumb. I got it, surprisingly. Oops. Ah. I'll quit moving. What is going on? Do I have a key stuck? That was weird. I'm gonna die again. Oops. How do I build a tent? That's what I was wondering. I kept saying camp, but I think I meant tent. Craft a crossbow. I need to find some health. Let's see what I got. Alright. That'll get me by. Tea. Alright, let me get in a somewhat safe location and I'll try to build a tent. See what this does. Oh look, a tent. Can't build here. Railroad tracks. And a road. Perfect. Oh, look at that. I can just max it out. Got the crossbow. Sweet. Not enough things to craft these pants. What do I need? Or another rabbit fur. Okay. And more a deer hide. Okay. Well, Phil, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. This is my first live stream on this channel doing gaming. If you do want to check out my channel, I got like three others, a court channel, a little troll channel I dink around in, and a well, drama community, I guess. And then I dink around in another community. I don't know if you've heard of Locale Live or anything, but they got like a network of a bunch of shows, and I kind of hang out in there. So you can find their stuff on my channel. But I appreciate you stopping by, Phil, and you teaching me a bunch of things tonight. It's really awesome. I hope to see you again. So I think I'm actually gonna go for the night here soon anyways. Call it a night. I've been on here for a few hours almost, and had some fun learning some things. And I appreciate you, man. Been fun. Thank you. Okay, now I claimed it all. Oops. Oh, I want to go back to my backpack, though. turn around. No, 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 no. Stay on the road. Why don't I just check all these cars? Oh, darn it. Oops. Yeah, I'm trying to get over there, you little deviant. Finally, I found Claire. Oops. I'm faster now. Oh, come here, lady. I'm trying to talk to you. Yes, we meet.
Yeah, once I knew what happened to my team, I had no reason to stick around Deadsville anymore. The journey could have been worse, all things considered. And while business is still slow, I gotta say, it's a lot nicer to be here in Myers Market than in Deadsville. Although, the food here could really use some spicing up. For example, have you ever heard of something called sofrito?
Isn't that a brand of chips?
No, it's a base sauce for cooking. It used to be really popular in Latin America and the Mediterranean. Usually, you cut up a bunch of garlic, onion, peppers, tomato, and cook them all together. It's supposed to be super aromatic. Ooh, or what about feijoada? I've
Oh,
only heard
feijoada.
it's supposed to be this rich bean stew with beef or pork, and when you eat it,
When you eat it, you are angling for me to go get you ingredients. Okay. She's angling me to go get her
still, I don't
ingredients.
know how to cook something like feijoada. But I do have an idea where we might be able to find some good recipes. There's an old house near Sunshine Farms to the west. The locals say an old man who was a master cook used to live there. He and his family were killed by deviants over a decade ago, but I can't help but wonder if he left any recipes behind. Obviously, I'd hate for those recipes to be lost forever, so if you can find any, then rest assured that I'll pay you well for them.
Alright, Claire, so what are we gonna do? Go find you ingredients? Head to the hearse and find the cooking notes. Can I put my tent up somewhere? No. But I want to build my camp so I can save. And then I'm gonna exit for the evening, I think. Ah. Base camp is this way. Let's sprint, shall we? I was supposed to turn there. Oh, there's a deer. I want my crossbow though. Where's my crossbow? Thought I had my crossbow. Oh, is that my crossbow? Maybe it is. Silly me. Going to get that deer. A little touchy. Why does it do that? Well, I lost that deer. Back to the mission. Oh. Oh. No. Alright. That's it. I'm done. Alright, for those who have been watching tonight, thank you for watching. And I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you again. I will be back again sometime this week, maybe this weekend. I appreciate everyone for stopping in, and we'll see you later.
Free socks. Free socks.
Flies on the wall in a neon glow, watching the circus, the endless show. Low cows move, they don't even know. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big, large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Red tubers gripped in the digital maze. For my cons light fires, set the blaze. Every clip's $1, every live pays. Die hard, draft cars, love scars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, Grift in the digital maze. Former cons light fires, set the blaze. Every click's $1, every lie pays. Lie hard, drive cars, lost scars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth